We're gonna have to go ahead and get started. We're hoping for more people to get here because as it looks now, we will not have a quorum for a voting today. However, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It is now about 10:03. This is a special meeting of Mason County Board of Health. And we'll introduce ourselves first and then we'll move forward with what we're doing. Right there.
Eric Onisco, City of Shelton.
Dave Wyndham, Mason County Public Health.
Darren Moody.
Sharon Trask, District 3 Commissioner.
Yes, Hospital Commissioner.
Online.
Okay, so two issues came up this morning to my attention. One is, we got emails from people saying they weren't gonna make it, they were on the board, so we won't have a quorum to vote. The good news behind that is the county prosecutor has approached and said that we should not enact the code as it is written, that we have some issues that we need to resolve in that. And so I'm sure Dave and his staff will be working with the county prosecutor moving forward to bring forward a draft that's acceptable to the prosecutor and the people. So as such, the special meeting basically got hit and a miss, and then a hit, depending on where you stand. So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you folks, that have taken the time to come here, is give you your 3 minutes. You are welcome to talk, but know that we are not gonna take action on this today. And it goes back to the prosecutor, like I said, for some work that we'll be working with Dave's staff and code enforcement. Any questions on that as I threw it out there? If you'd like to speak, go right ahead.
My name is Constance Simpson, and I'm from the Lower Hood Canal Watershed Coalition. And
I got an email from you.
yes, I would expect that staff give some kind of report, and now I'm very interested in what the questions are from the prosecuting attorney about the policy, or what he's going to look at.
I would love to give that to you. Personally, he did not talk to me, so I don't have the information in front of me.
Okay.
But usually when the prosecutor sends something back or says we need to work on this as a draft, they usually want to make sure that whatever is in there is lawful and enforceable. So,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I shouldn't say just lawful and enforceable. Lawful, enforceable, easily understood and managed. So I'm guessing, and that's an educated guess after 34 years in law enforcement, I think I can tell you what the prosecutor's looking for. They're looking for something that makes their job easier. And that's not saying it negative, that's just saying they're looking for something where they can look at it in black and white and go, okay, this is understandable by the average citizen, understandable by code enforcement, understandable by the commissioners. So everybody's on the same page with it. You know, too often in this country, we pass laws at the jerk of a toe, and the next thing you know, we're going, geez, how do we enforce that? Or what do we do with it? And I'm thinking this is probably something similar. Staff put a lot of work into this, but they aren't prosecutors. And so they give it to the prosecutor then comes back and says, this will make jobs easier for everybody.
They also want to make sure that it coincides with the RCWs or WACs, and also our policy. So want to make sure that all three, everything's timed together to make sure it's doable.
Can I speak for that?
Absolutely.
Since I think it might have been my email that somewhat precipitated that. I mentioned to some people before, when I went through the process with my immediate neighbor, I had legal counsel, correct? When the county was not enforcing code and there were so many obvious violations that they were walking through, I had state agencies shaking their heads going, how are they saying no violation? I was advised at the time that because a county employee had told me that they were blanketly not enforcing code, if it would increase homelessness, that I technically had a lawsuit, but it would be difficult to prove and wouldn't net me very much. A lot of money lost, suing myself because I'm a taxpayer, but it opened the county up to a lawsuit because you cannot blanketly not enforce code. You must amend code, or you must enforce code. People can sue, not for money, but for an injunction requiring the county to enforce its codes. So creating a written policy that explicitly says we will not enforce code on an entire group of people may run afoul of that. It's called a writ of mandamus, that specific legal doctrine where it would open the county up to lawsuits in specific instances where someone had enough money to do it, and that's a lot of money. They should make sure that any code that they pass doesn't open the county up to lawsuits and is therefore legal. I think that's probably where this is coming from.
Okay. Would anybody else like to use their 3 minutes? Yes, sir.
Patrick Burke, local business guy, 33 years around here. Is Mr. Tracy in the building today?
Mayor?
I have a few things I want to direct to you, sir.
Sure.
First, I'd like to comment about you and your minions who neglected to enforce Mason County sanitary regulations out here. Not to exclude the building department either, they were guilty of that. You people have cost my neighbor and I thousands of dollars in our 3 years of a 3-year nightmare living next to a sociopath neighbor. Because you guys didn't enforce the regulations, and you know who I'm talking about, Tiffany Casto. Familiar name, right? A problem that could have been resolved in 3 weeks, and you and your crew didn't do your jobs. So 3 years later, him and I are out about $40,000 in lawsuits with this woman, the frivolous lawsuits she brought against us, for us trying to get the codes enforced. For this dereliction of duty, I respectfully ask the county fathers to discharge you from your job. You're not the guy for this job. There's no way. It's not 1925 around here anymore, Mr. Tracy. It's 2025, and nobody has outhouses in their backyards, and there's a reason for that. They prevent things like typhoid, cholera, dysentery, hepatitis A, they say nothing, even polio, from having bad septic and sanitation in an area. Any special handling of sanitation for our local and incoming destitutes will also exacerbate the enforcement of these problems that it'll bring. This proposal to be voted on, as I thought was today, but I guess not, sounds like something right out of the Evergreen College. Mason County is going to grow in the next decade, if only from the rapid expansion of the Navy Bremerton. Navy Bremerton is going to become the main overhaul site for the U.S. Navy's aircraft carriers and their submarine fleet. It's going to bring tens of thousands of people out here. Property taxes are going up, and we, the taxpayers, deserve protection from the problems that this harebrained proposal, today's subject matter, is about. Mason County needs to go to another direction here. We need to go to stricter adherence to sanitary regulations. Mason County is way overdue for a vagrancy law also. We need a vagrancy law in this town. But further, a vigorous abatement program. For those of you who are not familiar with the term abatement, I'll just briefly explain. And a lot of counties here in Washington have these laws. The county has the authority through our health and building department, our county prosecutor's office, and our sheriff's department to physically remove code offenders from their property, clean it up, sell those properties, funding back to the offenders any amounts of monies after the cleanup costs, fines, and penalties. I should think this is something our local real estate brokers should get behind for the obvious reasons. And I have no, if anybody has a question, I'll answer it for you. Other than that, I will yield the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. You kept that right about the 3 minutes because the alarm was off right about time. Thank you, appreciate it. Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Running on the tail end of what John was saying, so from the information I've digested,
I mean, can we have your
what
name?
does the county's, the code enforcement? Oh, I'm sorry, Roderick Dolan. The code enforcement, what funding mechanism do they have for enforcement? From what I understand, if there's none or very little, and I think that may be what's driving this desire to not enforce because there's no money to do it. That sounds like, with no money, it's hard to do anything. So I'm wondering if that's what's driving the decision making here.
Thank you. Yes, anybody else?
Comments?
I was waiting.
Oh.
So we're not gonna answer that?
We're not for a question and answer. I mean, I was pretty casual the last time we spoke.
I know you were.
And so I'm just trying to keep this as streamlined as possible for a meeting. In other words, voice your opinions. You're welcome to say whatever you need to say to address the board.
Okay.
But if you'd like the questions answered, you can probably hit up either Dave or a county commissioner for that. Because I don't have the funding answer right now in front of me. But if it's a particular question, you can direct it to Dave or staff.
It's just dwyndham@masoncountylaw.gov.
Or the commissioners.
Okay, Dave Butts, I'm the neighbor
Yes, sir.
that cost thousands of dollars from Casto. And then just on the way here, I had my wife look up that property that is, going down Highway three towards 101 where the trailer burnt up and, the shithole house there. Just as you pass that going up the hill, down on the bottom, somebody went in there and built all those shacks. And my wife just looked up, there's no permits on the property, they're not even supposed to be building there. The septic was bad that was in there, so they're not
Let
even
me
supposed to be building.
clarify, so I think I know where you're talking, across from Tupper's Flooring?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
so nothing's been done, this is the same thing that's going on, the Casto thing, that thing's going on now, and nobody's doing anything about it. And now you wanna change it to make it easier for them to do it. It's ridiculous.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't think I have my full 3 minutes, I was just asking a question. Anyway,
Okay, go ahead.
what I would, Constance Ibsen, what I would like to know is the regulations when they were changed. Also ask that all the 12 counties that are on the Salish Sea redo their 2007 local management plans for septics. And my suggestion is that there be a really thoughtful review of what the regulations are, you know, what our plan is, what we're going to put in that plan, and then get it off. It needs to go to the State Board of Health. They need to approve that plan. I think we should start on it. And then I think a lot of these questions that are coming up, the Board of Health will have a good idea what's going on. All the years that I've been following this, there's always been very little discussion about septic systems, even potable water at these meetings. So it's like the board needs to get up to snuff, I think, on what is septic regulations and why and how it goes in with zoning, you know, just the whole thing. So that would be my strong recommendation.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and then there's just, you know, for the couple of you who are here, this is what Pacific County, I don't even know whether one needs to do this, but they apparently are clear about what they need to do, and they mentioned that they need to to review their regulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, okay, well, just saying, you know, showing what they do. Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys here,
Somebody else trying to get on?
Health officer.
You can't get on?
Yeah, you can get on.
Okay.
That should be up shortly, I'm adding it now.
We've got people on, so I'm sure
And I don't have my.
And we're giving it just 1 second because the health officer
He's
just
trying to get
trying
on.
to get on.
Did Christie send an email?
Yes, I sent it to you.
Would anybody else like to comment? Okay. Is he-
I got nothing.
Okay. He's not coming again. All right. Having that being said, any board comments, any issues?
No, I would like to let people know that during the next few months, our staff and our attorneys and not just the Board of Health, because a lot of this is bigger than just the Board of Health. It's also law enforcement, it's legislative, there's a lot of key players in this. And so what we wanna do is make sure that everybody has a seat at the table and that we can get this done and do it right. Because the environment for me is a big issue. I want to make sure that my grandkids and my great-grandkids and everybody else can enjoy the environment as much as I have. And so working on our codes, making sure that we comply with everything, that's what our staff will be working on over the winter.
Well, I would hope, Commissioner, that you guys consider an abatement program for this county. you're way overdue. It's,
And that's-
everything is
that's-
just
that's
sliding.
If you have a minute
That's-
afterwards,
that's
I can
definitely-
I can address abatement to you, and it's not as easy as it is, but I can talk to you about what it is. 'cause
But it
I've
is
done
something
I know
that-
what it is. I've-
It is something that we're talking about.
It needs to be done.
Okay, so,
I just want, so if we're going to, so it sounds like it's a couple of months you're gonna review this. So what happens in the in-between time?
okay, we're not gonna go to the question and answer.
Okay,
You're more than welcome to talk to us afterwards, but for the meeting structure, but we're not gonna keep doing the question and answer. And like I said, I'll stick around for a few minutes, you're more than welcome to ask us any questions you want. But at this point, we are, I guess the proper term would be shelving for a revamp on the code. And once it goes through the prosecutor and gets approval through the county, then it will come back to the Board of Health. Unfortunately, I won't be here to hear it because I didn't get elected to the hospital board, so this is my last meeting up here. And so, thank you all for your comments and things, and I don't know, Dave keeps saying that I should be the at-large citizen member on here, but we'll see. So, thank you for coming, appreciate it, the meeting is now adjourned.
thank you, Darren.
You bet, thanks, Megan.
Thank you all for coming.